This is where the power is that comes into our life, that we can start taking the steering wheel and move fear and doubt and all that discouragement, disbelief into the passenger seat, right? Because it's going to be there. It's going to be there along for the ride, but we don't want it to be driving us, right? We don't want it to be controlling our actions or our thoughts. All right, so thanks for joining us. My mission here is to empower creatives to live their dreams. And anytime you want to change something in your life up level, it all has to start with here, your thinking. So we're going to dive in and we're going to go over some wonderful details to help you to elevate yourself, your thinking, your career, your life. So today we're going to dive into why your focus, what you're focused on, shapes your reality. And we're going to go over how the brain's built-in filter, which is called the reticular activating system, how it's always working either for us or against us, depending on what you're tuning into at any given time. So I'm going to give you an example, buying a car. A few months ago, I ended up going and buying a Telluride, right? A Kia Telluride. I drive off. I didn't really see any usually before, but I decided to trade in my car, get this car. And as I'm going out on the lot, I'm starting to see all these Tellurides. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what, does everybody have a Telluride now? I'm seeing so many Tellurides. I'm like, it's got to be the highest selling car at this point, or SUV. So I Google it. It's not even within like the top 5 or top 10. Like, it's actually way down there. And I'm like, how is this possible that Telluride is not the leading seller? Because that's all the cars I see. Every car I see, every other one is like a Telluride. So this is an example of how when we focus on something, we see more of it. And this can be applied to our career, our relationships, our ideas that we're bringing to our team. So we're going to dive into that. So what is the reticular activating system? Some of you may have heard about this before, some of you may not have, but the reticular activating system is essentially a bundle of nerves at the base of your brain stem that acts as your brain's gatekeeper. So it essentially is sending you information based on what you deem to be important. And so what do you deem as important? So where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you are focusing on Tellurides, or you're focusing on white homes, or you're focusing on how there are no jobs out in the marketplace, or how everybody's out to get you, or the opposite, how everybody feels that you're very successful, your reticular activating system is going to sort through all the noise, all the information, all the nonverbal communication, all the comments that people are making, and it's going to be filtering what you are telling yourself. It's reinforcing your beliefs. And so if you feel like you're not achieving anything, you're not going to get a job, then everything that your reticular activating system is sending you is essentially reinforcing that belief. So this is where it's really important to focus on the positive. The more we can focus on the positive, the more we can focus on what we want to bring into our life, not what we don't want to bring in our life. This is where we can use our reticular activating system to help support us and move us forward to the life that we would love. And so a perfect example, and this actually is what inspired my talk today. So I was on Instagram. Yes, I spend time on Instagram. Actually, it's one of my favorite social platforms. Actually, Instagram says, a new study shows how terribly mothers' mental health is declining in the US. right? It says dads aren't doing well either, but they are doing better than moms. Okay. So, what exactly is causing this decline in mom's mental health? It says, well, it could be a number of factors, including limited access to mental health care, social isolation, rising substance use disorders, broader stressors such as inflation, rising income, inequality, racism, gun violence, and climate change. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little tip here. That could be true, right? So that those are our circumstances, situations, and conditions. The truth is that we have been dealing with these same topics for decades. And we actually have more resources now to support our mental health than we have in years. If we go back 2, 3, 4, generations, people didn't even talk about mental health, right? It's normal now to talk about mental health or disabilities. And so it's actually getting more attention and support now than it ever has. So, what is this decline? And is this even true? Like, what is this study, right? And so I love to go to comments to see what people's opinions are, what the general census is as far as opinions go. And I'm looking at it and everybody's agreeing. And I'm like, that is your reticular activating system. So for me, my mental health, I am a mother of 3 children. My children are between the ages of 7 and 13. I have 2 boys and a girl. Okay. And my mental health is actually better now than it has been in decades. So I've been working on my mental health since 2004. So that's over 20 years that I've been investing time and energy into my mental health. Why am I telling you this? Because I am living proof that if you invest your time, energy, money into improving your mental health, your life will improve. Okay, regardless of your circumstances, situations. I just went through a really challenging financial situation. I was teasing with a friend of mine that if I didn't have the tools that I have to navigate the challenges that I went through, I probably would have been sitting in a corner sucking my thumb. But I actually was doing extremely well. I woke up motivated every day. I was positive. I was calm with my kids. And of course, I was navigating some uncertainty and some very uncomfortable feelings, but it was the tools that I have and where I chose to put my attention. Okay. So we want to be careful with what we are putting our attention on, what we are deeming as important, and also what we are choosing to be impressed with, right? So if we choose to be impressed with how poorly the economy is, how awful it is that we got laid off, how horrible a relationship is, if we are really, really impressed with that and we give that attention and we just give it energy, then that's where our energy is going to flow. That's where we're going to get more of. And that's where we go that downward spiral. So if you want to go on an upward spiral and expand your life and your results, then you want to focus on what you do want to bring, even when your mind wants to go to that other side of what you don't have or that fear place. You can acknowledge it. We don't want to ignore our circumstances, situations, and conditions, but we want to be impressed by the power breathing us. So the power breathing us is not limited by the economy, inflation, that we got laid off by our job, or that relationship that's not going very well. There is opportunity to expand, to grow, and to elevate our life. And so the more we can put the energy in what we want to bring in and really let go of all that other stuff, then the more we are going to attract, the more our reticular activating system is going to bring information in that's supporting what we want to bring in. And we're going to get inspired actions. We're going to get inspired ideas. We're going to take inspired action. And then we're going to get the results that we want in our life. So this is where the power comes in. This is where the power is that comes into our life, that we can start taking the steering wheel and move fear and doubt and all that discouragement, disbelief into the passenger seat, right? Because it's going to be there. It's going to be there along for the ride, but we don't want it to be driving us, right? We don't want it to be controlling our actions or our thoughts. And so I invite you all to start asking yourself, is what I'm focusing on moving me toward or away from the life I love living? And an affirmation that you can use that will help you with this is, I focus on what I desire, not what I fear. All right, I'll repeat it one more time if you want to write it down. I focus on what I desire, not what I fear. All right, and so why is this important? So yes, we might be going through a challenging time now. We might be going through a challenging time in the near future, or maybe even a little further out. But life is a mixed bag. Even when things are going amazing, there's always an area in our life that we want to improve. And so our intention, where we put our focus on, is essentially our internal GPS. It's telling us where we want to go. Just like when we're going to use the car again, right? So when we get in the car, if we don't know where we're going, we're not going to go anywhere. I mean, we could aimlessly drive around, but that's not going to be a great use of our time. So the same is true when we're thinking of our future, right? We're clearly here in the present, but energy wants direction. It's best used when we can direct it and we can have it flow in the direction that we want to go. So we want to create a vision for our life that we love and use that as our destination. And that doesn't mean that we completely discount what we're experiencing now. It's important to essentially, like when we're in the car and we're going on a road trip, say we have an hour road trip, we have the destination in mind and we're getting in the car and we're driving, we still enjoy the view, right? We enjoy, if we have a passenger, the conversation. We turn on the music. We take in the moment. We enjoy the fresh air, but we know where we're headed. That is the same thing with the vision in our life. So we want to create a vision, whether it's for your career, our relationships, your health, your time and money freedom. I invite you to take 5, 10, 15 minutes, write on a piece of paper or type on your computer, what would I love in this area of my life? And really allow yourself to dream and dream big. And don't worry about how it's going to happen, right? We don't know how we're going to get from point A to point B other than we have our GPS. But if there's a road closure or if we need to stop for the restroom or we get hungry, like we'll figure that out, right? Like more answers will be revealed. So we don't want to worry about the how. We just want to say, okay, where do I want to go? Okay. And then we want to focus on that. So anytime throughout our day, as we're making decisions, we want to hold it up against our vision. Is this in line with my vision? No, we're not doing it. Yes, we're doing it. Okay. Anytime fear, doubt, disbelief start coming in, trying to dissuade us, delay us, we again go to our vision. and we put our attention on what we want to bring into our life. And that's going to bring us more energy, more motivation, inspired ideas so we can take inspired action and get the results that we so desire in our life. And we want to be open with how this is going to come about. We want to be open with when. And you can set a by when date, like by, 3 years from now, but I'm open to bringing it earlier into my life. And if we get to the date and it hasn't happened yet, we just move the date. And the date is helpful to set because, again, it's directing that energy. Okay. And when we come up with a vision, we always want to say this or something even greater still, because when we're creating this amazing vision for our life, we're essentially creating it based on the information we have now. And we want to be open to receiving a blessing that's even greater than we can imagine for ourselves. All right, so what are some things that we can do with our vision? Journal, create that vision. And I highly recommend either putting it on your mirror at home. You can read it while you're brushing your teeth. I like to put affirmations on my mirror because while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm always looking around for something to do, right? And so there are my affirmations, or there's my vision. I change it out. I always keep things fresh. It's nice to read it right before you go to bed. Have that be the last thing you put into your mind, because then your subconscious is going to be working on it all night. And that's really where that motor is, right? Is that subconscious. And you can also, if you're a morning person, reading it in the morning. You could even read it right before you get out of bed and start your day with that intention, that direction, keeping that North Star top of mind. If you want to create vision boards, having pictures, images, because that's what we think in. We think in images, and then we want to feel it. What am I feeling? I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling peaceful. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling happy. We want to bring all that in because as we're visualizing, we're seeing images, we're bringing feeling tone in it. Our subconscious thinks that that's actually what we're experiencing. And that is powerful to start bringing in people, places, and resources to create that in our life. So I would like to leave you today. I know we went through a lot, but you can watch this again. This is such foundational for bringing in the life that you want. And I really encourage you to do this daily, whether you do it in the night, in the morning, if you put it up on your mirror, hopefully you're brushing your teeth at least twice a day, so you can be reading it at least twice a day. I use Post-it notes, affirmation, vision. It's really about having all these tools and guideposts throughout the day to keep your focus on what you want in your life. Just really minimize your attention on what you don't want to bring in your life, because the less you focus on that, the more you focus on what you want to bring in, the quicker you're going to create the life that you love. And it is a process. And so remember that your mind is always working for you, but only if you train it. Your reticular activating system is loyal to your most repeated thoughts. So I invite you to make those thoughts intentional. And if you're ready to take control of your focus and create the life that you love living, start today. Now is all we have. Even 5 minutes of focus each day will redirect your life over a period of time. And so I invite you to journal, you can meditate, and you can also book a discovery call with me if you're looking for someone to support you in this journey of becoming a better version of yourself to create better results for yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. Be sure to watch this next video and learn more about how to empower yourself and live your most creative life.